Hello, everyone. Today we're going to do something different. It's called taco soup. And I am a lover of tacos, and so this is something that you can make. It's a budget-friendly soup for your family and friends. It's also a great thing that you could take along to a little get-together. And it's heart healthy, diabetic friendly. So let's get started. I have the recipes printed up, and they'll be shared online also today. So we start out with some lean ground beef, and I use the 85%, and I browned it up, and then I drained the fat off of it. And while it was browning, I went ahead and I added our peppers and onions so that everything could cook together well. And this is really colorful because the sweet peppers, I used yellow, orange, and green, and red. And so we've got all those colors, and I have some red onions in there as well. So these are all marinating together now as they browned. And then we have some diced tomatoes, and I have those ready in the pot here. What I did today is a lot of times if I have leftover vegetables, especially canned vegetables, I'll put them in the freezer. And so today I just thawed them out quickly in the microwave. Take them out of your plastic bags before you thaw them in a glass bowl. It doesn't take very long, and then I just put them in this little pot here. So I'm going to add our ground beef mixture to the diced tomatoes here. Again, I'm making a double batch. The recipe that I have is enough to serve 8. So it makes a lot of servings for a family. You can always stretch it farther by adding some more vegetables. You don't particularly have to add the meat to it. And then the last thing this recipe calls for, besides our seasoning, is beans. So the recipe calls for red kidney beans and black beans. Today I added another kind of beans, a pinto bean. So we're going to have a little more variety with our beans today, and it's going to add a little more color to our soup. So when you're getting your beans, you want to go ahead and dump them from the can into a colander, drain them well, and rinse them. So you can see our colorful soup here now. And the last thing is our seasoning. So this is really a quick soup to put together. Today this calls for taco seasoning. And you can either use a pack of taco seasoning, or if you buy it in a bigger container like this, so it's going to be a little more, it's cheaper to buy it in a bigger container, it would be 1/4 cup. But I am using 1/2 cup today because I have a double batch. Stir that all together. So it's a really thick, hearty soup. You can see, almost looks like a just a taco filling that you would put into a taco. It's a little juicier though. So this is going to be really nice. So I'll put it on the stove to simmer for a little bit, and this only needs to simmer for about 15 minutes before you serve it. So this is something you could put together ahead, or you can even cook your soup ahead and freeze it, and then just thaw it out and warm it up quickly for your family. Some nice toppings for the soup that I'm going to offer today are going to include, these are hint of loin chips. And so, we want to be careful about having some of these kinds of foods, but as long as you watch the portion size, so on here it says the serving size is 6 chips, and that's just enough to complement our soup today. And this has a lower sodium content in it. These are also baked, so you don't have the fat content. So I would look for the baked tortilla chips, and this has a hint of lime, which goes really well with our taco soup. We'll also add some low-fat grated cheese to the top. You can sprinkle that on however your family likes it. Some people don't like too much, and other people like more cheese, and that's fine. And then the last thing we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to prepare some cilantro for the top. And I know I talked about cilantro before. Cilantro is an herb that grows very easily here, and we'll be planting it in our community garden shortly. We're getting excited. We ordered our seeds and plants already, and so we're starting to think spring. So this is what the cilantro plant looks like. And so when you take it from your garden, you're just going to clip it, not too far down, but enough so that you get the stem and get the leaves, because if you leave too much there, it will go to seed. And especially when it starts getting really warm out, it starts going to seed fairly fast. The way you know that it's going to seed is it starts flowering. There's little white flowers that come up, and so that tells you that you need to get some snipped off so that you can use those leaves before it goes to seed. So what we do with these little herbs here, all we do is just take the leaves off of it. We don't really use the stems. Although you could. It's not going to hurt anything if you decide that you don't mind that texture and you want it included into your dish. We'll just take a few leaves off so that I can show you. So cilantro has an oil in the leaves. And the only way that that oil is released is by chopping. So we're just going to take a little knife and chop it up finely here. As I chop, I can even smell that cilantro because now the oil is starting to be released from those leaves. So this is a great garnish to put on a lot of our Mexican dishes, and especially nice with the beans and tomato taco soup today. So that's what we'll do for our bowl of soup today when I show you later. And you buy the cilantro in the fresh produce area. It's usually up there in the refrigerated part. You get quite a bit. Today I got a big bunch for 69 cents, so it's pretty budget friendly too. All right, so next we're going to do our yogurt parfait today. So I like to serve something like this along with a spicier main dish because it helps cool your palate. And it's kind of a refreshing thing to have along with your spicy dish. So the yogurt that I bought today is a Greek yogurt. And a lot of people are asking me, what's better, regular yogurt, Greek yogurt, low-fat, fat-free yogurt, which one should I get? And so I always recommend the Greek yogurt if you can find it. The reason why is there's twice as much protein here, has a lot of calcium, and so this yogurt is going to help you from having a blood sugar spike if you're diabetic. It's also going to keep you full longer because protein takes longer to digest. So look for that Greek yogurt. Now, the one thing about the Greek yogurt is sometimes it has a little more sour taste to it because it's more natural and they don't add a lot of sweetener to it. So today our natural sweetener that we'll be using is our fruit, our fresh fruit. And so this recipe calls either for fresh or frozen fruit. You could even use canned if that's all you had at home. It's really easy to put this parfait together. You start by just spooning in the yogurt into the bottom of your cup or bowl. And next we'll be spooning in our fruit. Or you can use a little measuring cup like I am. So I chose strawberries, some blueberries. So both of these have low glycemic value, which means that they take longer to digest. And don't raise your blood sugars quickly. However, grapes do raise our blood sugar quickly, so we don't want to have too many of those. So just equal parts of your strawberries, blueberries, and grapes. It's kind of fun if you can find the various colors. So I chose green today just so we'd have a little more colorful. Perfect. Next, you put a little bit of yogurt on the top, just to top it off. And then last, you can add some granola for a little bit of crunch. I think the recipe calls for 1 to 2 tablespoons. Again, that can be to your family's preference, so you can see how pretty that looks. So the kind of granola that I chose was this one. It's called Kind and Healthy Grains. The difference with this one is that besides having the usual oatmeal in here, we also have some other grains. So we've got some brown rice and some coconut, some oat flour, some millet, and then it's sweetened naturally with a little bit of molasses and honey. And so this is a real natural granola. A little bit goes a long ways. So you don't need much to get some good nutrition here. And this is a whole grain product. Again, filled with a lot of those B vitamins that we need when our body is just trying to build immunity and keep us healthy these days. Okay, so with that, we will go ahead and dish up our soup and have the yogurt parfait so that you can see what it looks like when it's all ready to go. So we'll top our soup with just a little bit of grated cheese. Some of that fresh cilantro. And we need to get a glove. Whenever we're doing ready to eat foods, we need to have those gloves so that we keep our food safe. And so we're just going to go ahead and add some of those hint of lime tortilla chips to go along with this lunch today. So hopefully if you're in the area and you'd like to have a lunch, just give us a ring, let us know. And we'll have some available for those that are interested. Healthy to go lunch today. And we'll see you next time.